All right, so a question that I get a lot now is how to let the slow months really be sustainable. Because as everybody knows, with any type of business or, especially entrepreneurship and freelancing and things like that, it's about you have your good months, you have your bad months. Good could be like we just had, like I said, grad season. It's a time where everybody is trying to get the same thing done at the same time. Prom season is super big. It's an influx of people who may not get pictures on a regular basis, who all need pictures at the same time. The holidays are big. A lot of the time, midsummer, if you do weddings and things like that, spring is heavy. But it's really depending on, just the industry that you're in and, the type of photography that you like to do. But every month is not a high. There are low months, there are good months, there are months where, unexpected expenses come through, where, something broke, or your light broke, or your lens broke, or in my studio, like the energy bill is extremely high during the summertime. Whatever the case may be, things come out of nowhere. But for me, how I handle those situations is I am truly never dependent on one source of income. As you can see from the channel, like we do have our family business of where we are doing lawn care and landscape. That is extremely well during the spring and summer. So their slow month is going to be the fall and winter. So we are already planning and trying to, figure out a way to offset that. Like I said, I have my, web design and web developing freelancing. And then I also have my 9 to 5, which is dealing with SEO and also web development. So it's just multiple streams. I'm also starting up some of a rental thing for like birthdays and like events and things like that. So that's coming up on the ground. That'll be another stream. So if like I have a slow month, I may do well with this rental during the summer where there's a lot of birthday parties and, like I said, a lot of weddings and like corporate events and things like that, or like during the holidays when there's holiday parties. So just trying to have multiple streams of income. And it's like, how can you tie what you're good at and what you do on a regular basis to bring in that extra stream? And it's like some people try to take photography and kind of mesh at that into other streams, whether it's selling prints or like stock images, stock video, things like that. Even for me, with studio rentals are another stream of income that I utilize when I have slower months as far as like my personal bookings. So you just got to get creative and, utilize the things that you already have, access to. For me, I've had the studio space, like any type of studio space, for at least the last 5 to 7 years, and it's been generating me income ever since. Because some months or some periods in my life, I may not feel like shooting photos for whatever reason. So I can take a step back and kind of let the rentals and stuff kind of take care of what it needs to take care of. And even with like freelancing and doing website builds and advertising and things like that and marketing, just working with clients, and like clients come in, clients go. A lot of the times I'm working with either small businesses or entrepreneurs. And of course, as I have down months and months where I have to cut back and kind of, re-budget and re-optimize like where I'm doing my spending, they have to do the same. And sometimes that comes with cutting me out as a contract or, not really taking my services at that moment. So it's all about ups and downs and kind of just taking the punches as they come. In life in general, you're not going to experience something that is forever just on a true incline. It's going to be a roller coaster ride of ups and downs. So you kind of have to mentally prepare yourself that it's inevitable and it's going to happen regardless. And you kind of have to prep and plan and just have that cushion already in place just in case things go wrong, because things are going to go wrong. So it sounded like even within your personal life, and you have, that savings, that is that safety net just in case you lose your job, or like the roof needs fixing, or like you have a baby, or whatever the case may be, and you just have that emergency fund. You have to have that for your business and your entrepreneurship journey as well. So that would be my advice. As far as my streams of income, like I said, I have my 9 to 5. I'm in a position where I can really balance having a lot of different things going on with my 9 to 5. I work from home, and they're extremely flexible as far as what I'm doing. Like I said, I work in SEO, search engine optimization, so I'm an analyst in that aspect, and I have, meetings and things that I have with clients throughout the day. So throughout the day, my schedule is primarily open, but I have the flexibility to, if I need to take a call here, I can take a call. If I need to edit here and knock this out or send this over, I can do that during the day and work my 9 to 5 at night. So I have that. I have photography, of course. I try to niche down and do strictly just, families and newborn milestone shoots and things like that. I niche down for me because I tend to get a little bit more stressed out if I'm just taking on any and everything as far as, photo shoots. So I stick to what I like to do and what doesn't necessarily stress me out. So you have that. I got the studio rentals. Like I said, the studio that I have is a public photography studio. I allow people to come in, rent by the hour. They can utilize our lighting equipment, whatever they really need to do. A lot of people starting out can't afford to open their own studio or have the luxury of having a plethora of peers who are also doing the same thing they want to do, and also who want to invest with them into their own studio space. So I have mine available at I feel like a very reasonable price. I know how it was for me starting out. I know how it is for me now. I don't want to pay $100. Shit, I don't want to pay $80, $75 to rent a studio space, even though, you can charge $200 to $300 for a shoot. But it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to pay that. So I try to keep it as reasonable as possible. So yeah, and I don't go all out with my studio. My studio is like bare minimum. Like we got the backdrop papers, we have lights, it's not like this extravagant, like where I should be charging, up there in that price. Is really just a bare minimum studio. If you need somewhere to shoot that's professional and you don't want people to come to your house or whatever the case may be, it's available for you if you want to use it. So I have that, and like I said, I also have the family business that I help run. It is a lawn care and landscaping company that is doing very well. We're in our first year. By the time next year, we should double our clientele next year. We learned a lot as far as the spring rush, what works for us and what doesn't work, the type of yards that we want to do size wise, and like just a better idea of how to lock in these people. And I feel like we will for sure double our clientele next year, so that's gonna be good. And then outside of that, like I said, I'm starting the event rental thing where it's just gonna be like event backdrops, custom cutouts, balloon arches, things like that. So I do a little bit of that now with the milestone shoots that I currently do, but I'm looking to expand that into like birthday parties, corporate events, and not necessarily weddings, because weddings are a little bit more extravagant and I'm not trying to do all of that. Like I'm still trying to keep it as stress-free as possible, but a lot of the milestone shoots are photos that they're going to use for their kid's birthday party, and a lot of times that is an easy upsell or an easy parallel to be like, hey, I can do your photos, but also I have this situation where you can like have a whole arch. It can be a bluey arch or whatever the arch may be, and customize and color to the theme of your party. And I can have like character cutouts to add to it, and this whole shebang. I don't love doing balloon arches because that takes forever. So I try to encourage people to be like, hey, this like you can just buy a kit and do it yourself and save that money. But that is also a stream. The last one is my freelance web design and add-on SEO services. So the website part is a little tougher to sell because a lot of tools are made now to where it's all easy to do and easy to knock out. Like anybody can build a website, and that is very much so the case. But sometimes people just don't have the time. They really feel like they don't have the not necessarily the skill set, just they don't have the eye to make something that is appealing. And it's like your website is like the sales book, for a lot of people, and you want that to look the best as possible. So I have fewer of those, and they're not hard to find, but it's like it's tedious to get those customers and get that clientele. So I don't, advertise or seek out those clients as often as I do all the other side gigs. But if it comes down to it, where, like I said, if I have a down month, like, I would lean into that as well. So those are just a few as of right now. I'm trying to keep it limited. I don't try to go all over the place. I try to master the few that I have. I feel like I probably have 3 of them mastered. The web design part is so, I'm not all the way in on that, but I do it if I need to do it. And then, like I said, the event rentals, that's new, so that's not mastered yet. But everything else is steadily flowing. We have systems in place that we are, constantly advertising and, just staying, engaged and active online, that you can tell that this is something that's still going on. Because sometimes you get into the position where you're looking for somebody and you can see, like, dang, they haven't posted in like 6 months, or on their GPP there hasn't been a review in over a year, or whatever the case may be. And it seems like how do you know they're actually active and still doing this? Because very few people, especially people my age, they're not trying to call you and all that, or they're not going to send an email. They're trying to see first, are you active on social media? So we have those systems in place that those are good to go and taken care of. But yeah, like I said earlier, like, slow months come, and this is something you have to just mentally and physically prepare for, because it's going to happen, regardless of what industry you're in. Especially now, like, money is tight for a lot of people, a lot of uncertainty, and it's like I'm in somewhat of some spaces where the services that I do are somewhat of a luxury for people. It's something that they don't have to have. It's just something that they want to have. So you got to go a little harder on selling and, just, giving them a great product. But, it is what it is. Some people just don't have it. And sometimes they just want to wait to, it may not be as important to them at this time. But yeah, I mean, you just got to get it in where you can get in, have that hustler spirit, not hustler in a sense where, like, you're working yourself to the bone, but just being able to shift and pivot how you need to, depending on just what time you're in life. That's the best advice that I can give to anybody who's asking or who has asked. It's just have multiple streams of income. Like, just try things. And I've had so many things that I've done and I've tried that has worked or hasn't worked, or I just figured out that I really didn't like it as much as I thought I would like it, or this doesn't generate as much money as I thought it would generate. Just try things, figure out what works for you, because I know, especially on the photography side, like I said, they're trying to, like, sell stock images or do stock video or be like a second shooter, and it's like, it's easier said than done. And some of those things work for some people and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, you have to have, the mindset to be like, all right, this isn't working. Let me pivot this way and try it this way. Or let me go this way and try this thing over here. Or let me go back to what I was doing and go back over here and go a little bit harder on the advertising and sales. Or let me just, straight path and work with what I have. It's all dependent on you. But the point is that there are options that you can go with, That's the only thing. So multiple streams. There's so many ideas online, YouTube, and it's endless on the amount of ideas that you can run through. It's just about trying it and figuring out what works for you, what works for your team, what works for the time that you have personally, and does it balance with the the life that you want. And it's about being patient as well, because like I said, a lot of these things for me, the money didn't come in until, not immediately. For the long term, it came in immediately, just because we lucked up on that. As far as photography in the studio, it took a minute. It probably took about 5 or 6 months to kind of profit and it be a regular occurring generating thing. For my 9 to 5, of course, that's every 2 weeks. I love that. I know people hate on the 9 to 5, but the 9 to 5 is the consistency of, I know I'm getting paid on this day. It helps me give me peace of mind. So I appreciate my 9 to 5. But everything else, you just gotta work with it and roll with the flow. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. Multiple streams of income. Down months are gonna happen. It is what it is. And I'll check you guys out on the next one.